we're going to start the day. Well, it'll be a relaxed start just because we will, still waiting for a couple of speakers to show up for their first panel. But yes, Matt Classen, TMA BlueTech. I'm the executive director since about 14 months ago. I first joined TMA BlueTech as a member back in 2019. And BlueTech Week was my first experience with TMA. And that year, it was mind-blowing, I should say. It was really inspiring to know that the kinds of technologies that are out there that have real-world impacts on ocean and water health and sustainability are not just conceptual, but actually, in many cases, in practice. And there's a whole model behind it as well. And it's only growing now as ocean and water issues become more and more exacerbated. So it's a wonderful time to be in the sector right now. We have some fantastic speakers as well to show you what they're doing in individual spaces. We also have some featured speakers as well. A lot of people have flown in from around the country. A couple of people have flown in from around the world to be here. And so welcome them, welcome everybody here. A little bit of the run of show. Carl Gouldman from NOAA is here, and he will be the MC for the day. He will be the moderator, and he's well experienced in this particular task, and so he will do it very well, I'm sure. A little bit about tomorrow as well. So we're here for today, but we also have tomorrow. And Thursday will be additional BlueTech days. Those are the BlueTech Summit and Expos, which will be at Liberty Station for both Wednesday and Thursday. I don't believe that there will be any striking there. And I do know that the parking is much more advantageous than here. Wonderful location. Liberty Station is, known for its restaurants and places to walk and stroll and just to enjoy the scenery. The one disadvantage we have with this wonderful location is that it's on the flight path of outgoing planes. And so when we're on the inside, the room is soundproofed. It's just lessened. But we'll deal with that. Apparently with the sound system, it minimizes it, as much as possible. I only tell you this in advance because you will want to go outside at some point because it's a nice place to be. And you'll just have to take like the 5 to 10 second pause in your conversations when you're outside. So just have fun with it. Look at each other like, here we go, another 5 or 10 seconds. It's just how it is here in San Diego. But I do want to tell you about the programming tomorrow as well, just so you're aware. We have decided this year to focus on 2 particular areas that we find are making significant strides or have the potential to be game changers in the sectors, their individual sectors. So on the first day, in the main hall, we're going to have the offshore renewable energy sector. And we've got people from around the world and around the U.S. Speaking on 6 different panels to talk about, exactly what is happening in different aspects of that particular sector in the California and West Coast markets. Very, very exciting content. We also have something that's quite fascinating as well in a separate breakout room, which is going to be a smaller room. It's just right across from the main entrance of the main hall. It's called the New Space Economy, and where that has to do with Earth observation, where ocean and water observation are involved. This is just a fascinating space to be in, and we have some incredible speakers talking about different aspects of what the new space economy is. It's just a sampling of what that is, but it's all just amazing. Really, I'm looking forward to be able to listen to as many of these as possible. But that is going to be on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, in the main hall, we have sustainable commercial shipping. Now, I hadn't heard about sustainable commercial shipping being even a thing. Like you just see like commercial shipping and you see these massive ships transporting massive amounts of goods and services. You hear about the carbon imprint and everything else. Like, so what's actually happening? But at the UN Ocean Conference in Portugal of this year, one of the gentlemen who's actually with the International Windship Association, Gavin Allwright, he'll provide a video address tomorrow. He's all about wind energy propulsion for ships. And he was telling me that there is a massive shift towards sustainability in the commercial shipping sector as we speak, and it's happening very, very quickly. And so we have some people coming in also from around the country, around the world to talk about what they're doing in individual ways with commercial shipping or sustainable commercial shipping. It's going to be fascinating. It's, change is happening right now without us really even being aware of it in many cases. So again, it's an exciting time to be alive. The fourth panel is going to be advanced water technologies. So as you know, we live in Southern California, and we have quite a few very advanced water technologies companies because of, water issues we have down here, whether it be freshwater production, desalination, how to recover water, wastewater, brown water, as well as what's going to be interesting is we're actually going to start to talk about we'll have a couple of panels that will talk about what the trends are, and how we might be able to change the model for how water is even valued. Like, how do you monetize water? And we're going to delve into like what I've been told is maybe into a little bit more of the politically risky realm because of a very, very scarce resource. And of course, there's going to be politics around that. So how do we navigate that successfully, as well as just to maybe plant some new ideas about how it could be done differently, as well as how to actually make San Diego or make it even greater than it has been in the water tech sector. So that's going to be a really fantastic panel as well. That's going to be on Thursday. So that's it for me for now. I'll have more to say as we go along over the next couple of days. But just thank you so much for coming. Enjoy yourselves. Be friendly. This is a friendly event. I know a lot of times and I'll say this again over the next couple of days, we come and we want to conduct business. We want to be able to justify the expense to come out here. We all get that, right? But this is what we call a blue family. We're all here on this pale blue dot together. And the ocean and water health is increasingly important. And we're seeing that now. There's more money going into this now. We're getting more concerned, but also great things are on the horizon. So the big blue family. Go say hi to people whom you don't know. Feel free to, maybe take a risk, because I'm always nervous to go meet people I don't know. Shake a hand, be friendly. You'll see each other again at these types of events in the future. I know that I have in my my first 14 months here. And it's fun. I get to see people like, hey, what are you doing here? Usual suspects. I said about 5 times today with different people, right? And it's always fun. One final thing I'll say, because this is also one of the fun things, is that we'll have a reception today after the last presentation ends, and it is going to be of special magnificence. If you guys know the Hobbit, that's been used in the Hobbit before, of special magnificence. Blue Robotics has actually brought in some specially made beer for them. It's called Blue Rover. I believe it's some sort of a blueberry sour beer. So that'll be on offer, and make sure to raise a glass and to be extremely merry. And we also we'll have some red wine and some white wine as well on offer. So that'll last until about 7. So we have a beautiful atmosphere, fantastic content, inspiring speakers. It's got all the makings of a wonderful day. So just thank you so much for being here. I will pass it off to the MC for the day, Carl Goldman. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Matt. My name is Carl Goldman. I am the director of the U.S. Integrated Ocean Observing System Office within the National Ocean Service, part of NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We have lots of acronyms. I'll try not to use them all. I'll try to spell them out and say the actual words. I've been coming to BlueTech Week since as long as I can remember, maybe 10 years or so now. This day at the forum at Scripps, thank you so much for Scripps for hosting. This setting is unbelievable. The Connect, Influence, and Accelerate as the tagline. Be friendly, meet people. I challenge you also to do a little work. Ask people, what are you trying to achieve? What's hard? What are your challenges? What do I do that's related to that? How do we do things together? That's what the networking piece of this is that's interesting to me. So from a government program, I fund ocean observing systems that are intended to apply to issues and provide decision support tools and information for management, for commerce, for safety. So I'm on the applied side of ocean technology, and I'm blown away by the brilliant scientists and technologists that bring those capabilities to bear to meet societal needs. And so I have the benefit of having 11 regions in the US that get funding from our office to do the applied side work. Clarissa Anderson in the audience here is from the Southern California Ocean Observing System Director, and she's located here on a regular basis. And so we often talk about what's the next thing we can do, what's the next gap in our capabilities, how do we get that thing funded, and all of that. And so I'm on a really practical level program manager type person who has to work with scientists and technologists to try to figure out how to argue up in the halls of Congress for the resources we need to do this type of work. So I'm sort of all along that, and I try to describe the value chain of observations technologies to solutions. And we can't do that with government alone. We can't do that with private sector alone. We can't do that with academia alone. We can't do that with NGOs alone. So these types of events for me are of high value, where we try to figure out how do we do these things together? How do you figure out capability X, Y, Z? We can make a project to do PDQ. So projectizing work in units to make incremental progress to fill a gap in a capability and a need. That's the sort of thing I worry about every day. And so I'm really thrilled to be here this week and be a part of these proceedings. I will try to be a capable MC. If you have questions or challenges, ask me and I'll try to find someone who can answer. And I really look forward to making it through the day, and having the event on the veranda here at the end of the day is always a pleasure. So without further ado, let's get to it. First off, we're going to have our keynote speaker, Dr. Doug Bartlett, Deputy Director for Research and Associate Vice Chancellor for Marine Sciences at Scripps Institute of Oceanography. Dr. Bartlett received his PhD in microbial molecular biology at the University of Illinois in 1985 and assumed faculty position at Scripps Institute of Oceanography in 1989. Dr. Bartlett has extensive experience in analysis of extremophilic microbial life in the inner space of our oceans, and he'll tell you about that. His research group pursues studies of the adaptations that enable deep sea microbes to live at great pressures, up to and beyond 15,000 pounds per square inch. Much of his work utilizes the tools of genetics, genomics, and functional genomics, as well as the use of autonomous sampling instruments to recover deep sea samples. It is hoped that the future generations of these instruments will enable greater capabilities for exploration and sample recovery. Please welcome Dr. Doug Bartlett.
Thank you, Carl. But I'm not here to be a keynote speaker. I'm just here to really welcome you. Tom will take over that role. but I'm here representing the SIO. And so, so Matt, Carl, whether you are from a industry, whether you're from a government agency, whether you're from academia, an NGO, it's really great to have you here at SIO. My understanding is that here at Scripps, we've hosted the Tuesday portion of BlueTech Week for, I think, 7 times. I'm not sure if that's right. I think going back to 2016. So I hope this is a trend that will continue for a long time. Our participation solidifies our position as a liaison between scientific research, innovation, and the growth of the blue economy sector in San Diego. BlueTech Week is a valuable opportunity for Scripps research to be shared with those of you from industry and government agencies. It means a lot to our people here to be able to connect with all of you. We maintain a formal connection with BlueTech Week through Vanessa Scott, who will be a part of the program this afternoon. Vanessa is the SAO Director of Corporate Affiliates, Business Development, Industry Outreach, and Innovation. She's also a member of the board of TMA BlueTech. But there's much alignment between what you folks who are concerned with the blue economy and blue technology are trying to do and what we're trying to do here at SIO. Innovation that translates into applications is much of what we have done here and what we do now. I think it's safe to say that doing translational science is a growing part of what we do at Scripps. It's a growing part of what federal agencies are funding and private foundations are funding today. One example, and I want to give you a few examples of how we try and connect to blue technology, how we think about ocean engineering, and how we connect to ocean-related biotechnology. One example of that is our Start Blue Technology Company Formation Accelerator Program. This is a joint offering between Scripps Institution of Oceanography and another part of UCSD, the Rady School of Management. And so Rady takes care of the business part of this accelerator program. Scripps takes part in the technology part of it all. And we know that innovation networks like Start Blue, or another one that we have here in partnership with the Jacobs School of Engineering, which is called the Triton Innovation Challenge, we know they work. Scripps alumnus and polar oceanographer Dr. Jack Pan participated in the Triton Innovation Challenge while a student here, which helped launch his startup company, Ocean Motion Tech. This company uses technology to convert the power of the ocean into usable electricity for small-scale power needs at sea for scientific and maritime buoys and moorings, offshore aquaculture, and coastal security and defense. Some additional examples of the engineering part of Blue Technology are the wire walker. The wire walker is another example of an energy-efficient technology applied at sea. Wire walkers harness the energy of ocean waves to move sensors vertically through the water column, capturing detailed measurements of the physical environment during their ascent. SIO and mechanical and aerospace engineering professor Drew Lucas here is a project co-investigator and developer of the wire walker technology. The wire walker has numerous applications, for example, to provide information about the physical characteristics of seawater that coincide with harmful algal blooms. I suspect Clarissa will talk a little bit more about ocean monitoring as it relates to HABs or harmful algal blooms later today. And then another aspect of engineering that we are super excited about here at Scripps, and this is just something that's planned. It's not reality yet, but it could be a game changer, and that is our planned development of a hybrid research vessel. California legislators have allocated $35 million towards the design and the construction of a 120-foot long new research vessel to replace our aging vessel, the Robert Gordon Sproul, that has served us very well for many years. This new vessel will feature innovation hybrid propulsion systems that integrate hydrogen fuel cells alongside a conventional diesel propulsion system, diesel electric power plant, enabling zero emission operations. As you know, emissions from diesel engines on ships contribute to both greenhouse gases and pollutants like NOx and SOx. This hybrid design will be scaled so the ship will be able to operate 75% of its time entirely using a non-fossil fuel hydrogen with only pure water and electricity as reaction products. The naval architecture and marine engineering company Classen has been selected as the naval architect for the university's new research vessel. It will take about a year for design completion and then another 2 years for construction. But it will be very exciting and as I say, a game changer, I think, when it comes to research at sea. A few additional examples of how some of the engineering work can connect to our interest in biology and in biotechnology and in ecosystem monitoring. So SIO researcher Eric Terrell here at SIO and colleagues have used autonomous underwater vehicles equipped with side scan sonar configured for wide area mapping to survey about 150 square kilometers between Palos Verdes and the Palos Verdes Peninsula and Catalina Island. So going from the LA Long Beach area out towards Catalina Island. This is where the San Pedro Basin is located, and they're monitoring the seafloor at and this is at water depths of 600 and 900 meters, where there was a dump site used by various industries and includes byproducts of petroleum, including the pesticide dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane, or better known to all of us as DDT, a well-known insecticide and human carcinogen. The dumping took place between 1947 and 61. industrial waste up to 2,000 barrels or barrel equivalents per month were reportedly dumped, resulting in an estimated 767 tons of DDT and other waste products. Eric's analyses have identified about 100,000 acoustic anomalies, and of those, about 27,000 have barrel-like characteristics that would be consistent with the barrels that were dumped at this location. So with ongoing support from NOAA, we will be assessing the extent and impact of DDT dumping and quantify the penetration of this and other toxins into marine food webs. This will include the use of our California Cooperative Oceanic Fisheries Investigations, or CalCOFFI program samples. This is a program that goes back over 70 years of collecting fish and plankton. And we now are in a position to be able to go back through time, look at the bioaccumulation of toxin in these fish, and better quantify the presence and the accumulation and hopefully the loss of DDT in our ocean food webs. And then finally, just one more example. SIO is involved in blue technology as it relates to biotechnology. We are currently in discussions with Serenus, a marine-derived drug discovery pharmaceutical company in the area. This is led by Dr. Eduardo Esquenazi, a former Scripps PhD student who has been incredibly successful in biotech development. And Serenus is going to partner with our Center for Marine Biotechnology and Biomedicine for us to scale up our drug discovery programs here. And this would complement a gift of robotic liquid handling systems we have received from Illumina Corporation and our plans for a new building dedicated to these kinds of analyses. So that gives you a little flavor of some of the areas we're going into that relate to blue technology here at Scripps and why we really want to be partnering with all of you. So I'm really excited about this morning, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day. And just in an outline, maybe this is something that you'd want to mention, Carl. I was going to say next up is Tom Fu, Head Mission Capable Persistent and Survival Naval Platforms Department, Office of Naval Research. And then we have another featured speaker, Amanda Netburn, who is I'm proud to say, a Scripps product, and she's the Deputy Division Chief for Science and Technology at NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, and that's a program that I've long admired and I've also benefited from. And then we have 4 panels, technology from Teledyne and Kongsberg, as well as from our own Nathalie Zilberman, who will tell you all about the Argo program here. And then we have panels on workforce development, environmental monitoring, innovation, and blue technology. It all sounds super exciting. I hope you have a great meeting, and welcome.
Thank you. Any good moderator, any good master of ceremonies has folks in the audience helping them? I said Scripps, and I said the Institution of Oceanography, and I said it wrong before, so corrected I am. So with one quick, just personal note, yesterday I had the pleasure of getting to tour San Diego Bay with the port operations folks, Jason Giffen, I think. Yeah, Giffen. And his team, and it was just amazing to get to see the natural resources here, and then the commerce and the military assets in terms of everything that's there, and then the activities going on in terms of restoration project, aquaculture projects, all around the bay. And it was pretty thrilling to get to go in the interdiction boat that the harbor police have there with just a few horsepower on the back of that, and we got to go pretty fast. So that for me was a great introduction to town yesterday as I flew in, right after we flew in.